Hey guys, Moose here. Welcome back to another episode of Life is Feudal Forest Village. Should be getting our second blast furnace up today. I'm very confused as to why they have the people work up here. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's okay. Alright, what do we got going on here? Food is all where it should be. Builders are where it should be. Yep. Everything looks the way I would reasonably want it. Why are people working on smelting? Oh, because smelting is the same job? What the f... Okay, that's really weird. They didn't add a new job for blast furnaces. It's actually identical to the smelter. That's actually extremely weird. I guess I sort of understand, but don't really like that. I think that's not the way that you should do it. I think it's only acceptable because there's actually zero reason for cast iron to exist anymore. That's the only way in which I would say that makes sense. You might as well remove cast iron from the game the way they have it set up, which is something I didn't really... I don't know if did I talk about that in the last episode? There's kind of no reason to have cast iron. Like, you might as well just jump straight to steel. The only way that might not be true is if you don't have access to all the buildings right away, but I don't think that's the case. I think you do actually have access to everything right away. The only stuff you don't have access to is stuff that you get through the port. Anyway, I got advice that I should slaughter sheep until the thing goes away. I don't know how quickly it reacts, but if I have to kill them all, I will kill them all. I'm gonna go down to 1. There we go. Alright. They're no longer sick. Okay, so no more rabies problems, I guess. Naturally, something is just arbitrarily on fire, despite the fact that there hasn't been any lightning. You know, that's just, you know, stuff just randomly catches on fire. It's just something that happens. It's a part of life. Okay, why? Right, that's for basic tools. There's also no reason for basic tools to exist. Basically, steel is the only thing that should be there. I can't think of a situation in which I'd want to even consider making primitive tools or even high quality tools at this point. Like, there's very little reason not to just jump straight to steel tools. Like, I mean, you probably can't do it instantly, but you probably could actually. Like, it's almost not worth building the carpenter's thing. So, I don't know, man. I think from a game design standpoint, that's not really done very well. I think you could do that a lot better. So we'll speed things up slightly. See, you guys said that you fixed the BS about hypothermia. It seems like you didn't. Kinda seems like you didn't. This should not, like, there's no way. I don't know why. They're like, oh, charcoal's way more effective, but they're never going to carry enough of it to their damn house to keep them warm. Like, what are they doing? They're being real dumb. Alright. Very, very nearly finished. Which is pretty sweet. Now we are increasing our steel production. We are not making much steel, but we may not need much. So, you know, maybe this is fine. I don't know. It's going to be a little difficult to say. Probably want to cut down some trees. So I've gotten back into programming lately, and I'm enjoying it. I have an actual idea of what I want to do, so I enjoy that because I have like a puzzle to solve, but I can't get to the part where I'm trying to solve the puzzle because when I was learning Why are you without work? You're a hunter. You know, your stupid thing burned down. Of course it did. Why wouldn't it have? Right there. When I was kind of learning programming, I did put a little bit of time into Java, but that was mostly like outside of class. I was just trying to learn it myself, and I never really got very far because I'm not really... Without like a directed reason to do something or learn something, it's very hard for me to learn anything just to learn it. Like, I need to have a reason. And it has to be something that, like, I believe in. And that's kind of... I haven't really had a project that I believe in a long time. Maybe ever. And I've got a project that is interesting to me that I believe in, that I want to execute on. I just wish, like... I didn't put that much time into Java. I never learned Java. It was much, much, much more... C++. Even Python, I think I did more than Java. But what I'm doing now uses Java, and I think I could do it in C++, and I maybe should. But I feel like using this opportunity to pick up Java might make more sense. I don't know. Pretty sure I could do it in C++ if I wanted. I just don't know that I actually want to. I don't know what the... Oh, right, the hunting lodge. Deconstructing the other one and making the new one. Yeah, that's fine. We're pretty well off on our population here. Really not happy that it's getting cold again. That kind of pisses me off. Yeah, that's not happening, so let's just do animal... No, let's do forestry. That looks like an easy one. The resources required are much lower at the very least, so that's a plus. Yeah, see, this is a problem. Why are you guys not rectifying that problem? Yeah, wrong one. It's weird because they kind of like alternate which one's full, so it's rough. But yeah, so I have a problem that I want to work on and learn. Like, it involves a really complicated loop, basically generating a map, like on a grid, and identifying which cells are populated and which ones aren't. So I want to work on that. There's a lot of complexity there that's really interesting, especially when you start suggesting that, hey, well, this cell isn't necessarily equal to this cell. It might have an event in it that's unique. Might have something else going on. It might have, well, you know, like there's a million different ways you can take that, and I can't get to the point where I'm working on that because I'm doing some very basic testing and I can't even get that to work. And it's really irritating because I think the issue kind of surrounds... It has to do with initializing and setting... Wow, that's already full. It has to do with setting variables, which is like the most stupid and like simplistic aspect of programming, and it's not working. And I'm so confused. It's like the first thing that you need to do is to store any kind of a value, you need to be able to set a variable, initialize a variable, and I can't, like, it's not working the way that it's... And the problem is, when someone asks for help with programming and they go on some site and they post like, hey, I'm getting this error, here's my code, what am I doing wrong? No one ever says like, oh, you're doing this wrong and it should be this because of this. They say, oh, you need to write it like this. They just, God, what is going on? Literally non-stop thunder. That was out of control. I hope that wasn't too loud on the video. But yeah, they don't tell you like, oh yeah, you need to do this because this. No one explains anything. And when they do, it's completely incomprehensible. All they do is they say, oh, this part of the code should be this instead. They just fix the error. They don't, like, it doesn't help learning. So that's frustrating. And then the other thing is when they do, like, all the examples, they'll say, like, wow, okay, we're probably ready to harvest. So for example, I was trying to initialize basically a variable that contains that like points to an image. So that's called image view. So when you do that, and this is the really hilariously frustrating thing about this, let's say you're trying to do that. I have to trade all my wool. What the example, they'll give you an example about how you're supposed to do it, but the example is like, well, you need to type image view equals, and then a big bunch of crap that has image view in it 2 more times. Here's the problem. All those things that said image view, the 4 things that said image view, were 4 different things. The first one was the data type. The second one was the name of the variable, which can be anything, so there's no fucking reason to make it the same damn name, so it's impossible to tell what the hell they're trying to teach you. And then the third and fourth were, one I think was a repeat of the variable name, maybe? And then another was like a data type again. So it's like, what the fuck? What are you trying to show? I don't understand. It's all the same. You put the same word here 4 times, and I don't understand what is what. It's the least helpful, and the official documentation of everything does it all the time. At least I think that's the official stuff. But like, that's all anything says. It's like, oh yeah, just type this word 4 times in a row with an equal sign thrown in there somewhere, and it'll work. Trust me, it's fine. It's the least helpful way of showing someone an example. And programmers really, really, really should know better than that, because it's very early in programming that you learn to use significant names and not just like gibberish. And significant names means not making it easily confused with anything else, and that is the definition of easily confused, so I'm deeply frustrated. But yeah, anyway, enough programming talk. I know that's not really relevant or interesting, I guess, to a lot of people, but to me I really like puzzles and like logical puzzles, so I've been having a lot of fun trying to figure out. I got a doozy of the puzzle ahead of me. The one that I really want to figure out is that map thing where I'm generating a 2D map, basically. And it's not going to be simple. Because I don't understand how to do that. I haven't seen any examples of how to do that, so I'm basically... I'm not inventing it, you know, people have done it before me, obviously. Many people, like, we're way past the point of that being like a not major practice, but what's the word I'm looking for here? We're way past the point of that being like a new thing that anyone's doing. You probably get what I mean. It's not new, is what I'm getting at. Okay, that's probably the one I want to take. Yeah, this guy. We're way beyond that. We've moved past it. So I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel, but I don't know where to go to see like an example of what I want. So I'm basically reinventing it myself and coming up with, well, how do I think this should work? And I think I'm an idiot, and I can't, like... I don't know, because I know that my solution, and this is, if you ever play any of the, was it Zachtronics, I think? Zachtronics games. If you make, basically it's like a puzzle game that kind of relates to programming a little bit. Any solution that you make, no matter how good you are or how good you think you are, will always be outclassed by some guy on the internet, because there's some prodigy somewhere who just has this beautiful beautifully simplistic approach to the problem that does it infinitely better than you ever could, and that's kind of where I'm at mentally. Whatever I come up with is going to be horrible, I know it. And I'm just dreading, like... I want to be good. I want the really elegant solution. I think that's beautiful. I talked about this when I played Factorio a bit. I think it's a truly beautiful thing to be able to set up like an elegant solution to a problem. And I am not... I'm pretty good at logic. I'm not that good. And I'm not practiced with syntax or coding, so I can't, like... Most of my mentality... Sorry, we're still talking about programming. Most of my mental energy is going towards, like, okay, what stupid bug did I accidentally create this time? Because I don't understand conceptually what's happening with Java beyond the basics of programming and, you know, hey, I get what a class is and a function and all this stuff. Even though a class in Java is a little bit different from in C++, I think. They're not identical. Anyway. All that aside, yeah, so from a design standpoint, looking at this game, going back to what I was saying before, definitely there's definitely no reason for cast iron to exist. The resource advantage of using cast iron over steel is so trivial, in that it's one charcoal, that there's really no reason to pursue it, honestly. And I'm gonna double check that's... Yeah, it still just takes one. So yeah, there's really no reason. There's no reason at all to use cast iron or high quality weapons over steel. Steel just makes more sense. The only reason you might go cast iron is because it's probably cheaper to build kilns, and it might be faster. Like, that's 1.2, that's... Oh, they're also 1.2. So yeah, I guess it depends how long it takes to make some cast iron, then. It's very... very strange, the way they've done it. So how would you remedy that, from a game design perspective? What would you do? Well, there's kind of two ways you could do it. You could require some manner of research or resource investment to be able to make steel anything in the first place, which would make cast iron cheaper because there's less of an upfront cost. And that'd be putting basically a barrier to entry on it, which is a good way to do it, I think, and that's probably the preferred way, because the alternative is to make it much more expensive than cast iron weapons. I don't like that. I think the way this game is set up, it doesn't make sense to make it more expensive. I just think it makes a hell of a lot more sense to, like, lock it behind... Like, maybe if you could send ships out from the port on, like, a technology research, like a research mission, basically. I don't know how you would frame that from like a theming standpoint. It's a little weird to send people out to do research, I guess, but you could do something like that. I think it would work. It seems kind of... There's really genuinely no reason to do anything other than steel now. And that's like, okay, it's cool that you added something, but why? Like, why would you ever go back? That's kind of the question on my mind. Anyway, weird situation. So here's the thing. I would like to go a little nuts here. See, that doesn't go to the ground, though, is the thing. So I'm a little confused. I think I might need to build the pavement first, which kind of sucks, actually. I don't really want to do that. Alright, there goes the cold. Not done just yet. We are so well off on food, though. There's very little to complain about here. Alright, that dropped to -2 pretty quick. Let's just go nuts. Don't really need the manpower anywhere at this point. Yeah, this is fine. Alright. I feel like this is not the right place to be doing it. But I want to, like, space this properly because I would like to have it be neat. So what if I demolish the bakeries? I feel like I don't need these. They are presently unnecessary, so let's get those out of here. Now, the reason I'm doing this should become readily apparent in a minute here once they're gone. I would like... Actually, no, we're at the end of the episode. You're not going to see it this time, unfortunately, but in the next episode, you will see me begin to populate that area with pavement. I'm going to try to, I guess, kind of remodel the town a little bit. And it's going to be a little weird. There's going to be a lot that we need to do, and we're going to have to kind of cycle around. It's going to be complicated. Like, the windmill and the bakeries don't need to exist. I don't think those are critical. We've got 43,000 potatoes. I think we're going to be okay on food for a while, so we're going to try to make that work. But for now, that is it for today's episode. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I hope you'll join us for the next one as well. If you did enjoy it, feel free to come by twitch.tv/electronicmoose, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, 6 to 8 p.m. PST, 9 to 11 p.m. EST. Check out a stream if you'd like. If not, thanks for watching the videos here on YouTube, and I will see you next time. Take care.